Well, welcome everyone to yet another iThemes training event. Super excited to have you guys here today. We are going to be getting started here in just a couple of minutes, but until then, why don't you go ahead and let us know and the ithemes.com/chat where all of our conversation will be happening today, the ithemes.com/chat. Let us know on a scale of 1 to 10 how confident you are with setting up payment gateways and Restrict Content Pro. And just a reminder that you can go to ithemes.com/chat to join in the discussion. We do not use the GoToWebinar chat. Glasses here is good thing you guys showed up today. Good. Hopefully we can get some clarity and get those confidence levels raised up a bit when we're dealing with setting up payment gateways and Restrict Content Pro. And as you guys are here and watching the webinar, if you think of a question, feel free to add it into the chat, but please preface the question with the word question. That way we know that you are asking a question. Carrie, if everything's working, I bet you're doing a pretty good job. All right. Well, we are at the 1 o'clock hour. Again, super excited that everyone's here today. My name is Michael, and I am not typically the host of iThemes Training. Typically, that's Nathan Ingram, but with these Restrict Content Pro webinars, I asked if I could kind of MC them with Jeff, and then with some future ones coming up with Jared, the developer. But today, I've already kind of mentioned it, we are joined by Jeff Graham, who's going to be talking to us about setting up payment gateways and Restrict Content Pro. Jeff Graham is a web designer, a contributor to the events calendar from Long Beach, California. He's also the lead editor of CSS Tricks, and he teaches front-end web development at Long Beach Community College. Also, he is becoming a friend of mine as we're working on some projects together. I'm super excited to have him here today. So, Jeff, welcome. And then how's it going today?
Oh, it's going pretty darn fantastic. How about yourself, man?
I am doing very well. You want to give us a quick overview of what we will be covering today?
Yeah, geez, I don't know if I can say it as well as you did, but basically we're integrating payment gateways into Restrict Content Pro, and this way, we can accept all kinds of payments from credit cards to mobile wallets, whatever, for paid memberships that are set up through RCP. So, we'll be tackling a whole bunch of points, like, just tackling what a payment gateway is, deciding between different payment gateways, and we'll have two examples specifically: Stripe, which is a popular one, as well as Braintree, which is an offshoot of PayPal. And then we're gonna test payment gateway connections in a sandbox, and then just show how to disable that so that everything is officially live and your site can take payments for those memberships. So that's what we're gonna do.
That is awesome, awesome. Excited to get into it. Before we do, but let's do a couple of quick housekeeping things. Yes, we are recording this as we speak, Doug, and then this will be posted, probably about an hour after we wrap up. And just like to reiterate that the conversation is happening at ithemes.com/chat. Feel free to ask any questions that you have, but please preface that question with the word question so we know where you're asking a question. And then also look to see in the chat to see if I have any follow-up questions, if I need any clarity of exactly what you're asking. So we can make sure that we have those questions for Jeff when they come up. And then also you can find a link to the slides for today's slides. Nathan, here, I'll go ahead and post it again real quick. Actually, let's go ahead and copy. And for today's handout, you can use the link that I just added. And then without further ado, let's go ahead and get started.
All right. Well, thanks, Michael, and welcome everyone. I'm, really excited to be hanging out with you. It's Thursday. I always like Thursdays because it's like, pre-Friday or something like that. I don't know. Especially after, a webinar like this, it feels really good because it feels like the rest of the day is just like downhill, like really easy. But speaking of easy, I think it's relatively easy to set up a payment gateway with Restrict Content Pro. And we're going to walk through that specifically. But first, I wanted to talk about like what even is a payment gateway. We're going to be looking at specific ones. Like Stripe here. We have Braintree, which I guess I could go over here. Oh, no, you can see it has a little tiny PayPal thing right there. But a payment gateway is it's how you accept payments like credit cards online. You can see right here, Stripe kind of demonstrates it here. It's a third-party platform like Stripe or Braintree, and they provide an API to their service, and this API is like super encrypted and provides all the functionality that makes payments secure or supports recurring transactions or subscriptions, things like that. And they're all they're all compliant in a way that would be difficult for us to achieve on our own, right? Could you imagine trying to build this commerce thing, whatever, that takes care of all the PCI compliance and all that and accepts all kinds of debits to connect to bank accounts and all that? Well, that's what these companies do, and that's why they they also tend to charge a fee on top of that, because we're accessing their gateway or their API. So that we get the benefits of their service. So that means, when we want to accept, let's say a credit card or pay with Apple Pay or something like that, that we just get to to take those payments and do it in a secure way. Now, Restrict Content Pro is actually compatible with 5 different gateways. If we head over, geez, where did I put that? There it is. We could go over and see some of the options that are here. We list them here, and I say 5, but there's technically 6. Like I said, we have Stripe, PayPal, of course, because PayPal owns Braintree, so they're related there. So it's easy to support both of them there. But it also has Authorize.net, which is a huge enterprise level one that usually big companies use. But it scales well, and it takes credit and debit cards too, like other things. To Checkout, which I've never used personally, but I have seen projects that do use it. But here's the 6th one, this idea that you can actually add your own. And I mean, we're not going to cover that today because that's really hard. But the idea is that RCP is that flexible. We have the leading payment gateways supported here, and any of these should meet a whole bunch of use cases. So with that, we can start comparing a couple of these. Specifically, I want to look at Stripe and I want to look at Braintree as well. And Braintree, I actually got to work with Braintree on a project a few years ago, and it's pretty robust. It's crazy. It's like taking PayPal conveniences and stuff. PayPal is usually just you have a PayPal wallet or something, or an account. You just use funds from that account, and it can hook up to your checking account and stuff. But it's not really like a primarily for credit cards and stuff. It's more for transferring your balance around, and it's best when it's making payments between PayPal accounts. But Braintree is different. It's more in line of where Stripe is, which is about taking all kinds of payments up front first. You don't necessarily have a Stripe wallet like you do with PayPal. Instead, this is a developer-focused type thing that just provides a simple API that the RCP is able to consume and take payments for. We are actually a verified partner with Stripe, which is a big deal. That takes some work to put into to make sure that we are secure and compliant as well. So you should feel secure, very secure if you're using Stripe with RCP, knowing that we've been vetted, Stripe's been vetted, and all the transactions are secure end to end. So that's something that's super important. You don't want to hook into something and not know if you're actually working with something that is vulnerable, or if something that is solid. I really like Stripe too, because sometimes they give you this UI here where you click a button and it just opens up this little modal and makes the checkout process extremely easy with just a few fields. And we'll look at how to do that later on. But yeah, there are, you know, and when it comes to choosing between Braintree and Stripe, you know, I think that that both are pretty comparable in a sense. I do think that I've had an easier time integrating with Stripe, especially when it comes to RCP. It's like a one-click sort of integration, which I find extremely helpful. And you know, Braintree, you know, just takes a couple more like tasks in between. You know, you have to fill in some like fields in the background there, but you know, it's not that difficult to do as well, and you still get a bunch of the benefits of you know, accepting payments and whatnot straight from your site, as opposed to having to like jump over to PayPal or some other platform. You know, all this is contained directly in your site. So, you know, I wanted to start with Stripe because, you know, as I find that that's kind of the easiest one. But, you know, I did mention that, you know, these services do charge for their, you know, for access to their platform. So, you know, just be aware of that. Stripe typically, you know, I think Stripe and Braintree are pretty comparable there. I believe that both of them charge, you know, like 2.9% of the transaction plus 30 cents on top. So, so you know, you know, something's $10, they'll take, you know, what is that, Michael? I'm not very good at math. 2.9%, you know, that'll be $2.90 plus 30 cents to $3.20 that they'll take out of that $10. You know, it's, you know, that can't be right. I'm not good at math. That would be like what, 20 cents or something? I don't know. I'm so bad at this. So it'd be like a 50-cent fee. Anyway, all that to, you know, say that like it's a little percentage plus a flat rate on top of that. Sometimes if you work on a big scale, you can actually work with Stripe to get discounted pricing, you know, if you plan on using it heavily. But for the most part, both of these, you know, charge up, you know, relatively similar here. If I, you know, Braintree payments, I believe it is. Payments, yeah, there we go. There's their actual marketing site here. As far as, you know, why Braintree features learn, do we have like a pricing thing inside of here? Be nice, you know, just to have that sort of thing right up, you know, up front here. It doesn't look like there's like information right up front, but we can probably search pricing. And yeah, 2.59% plus 49 cents, you know, so pretty similar, a little less percentage, but a little more flat, you know. So and then it looks like they have different rates for, you know, for different types of payments too. So like if you were to enable a Venmo type thing, it's going to be a higher percentage, probably because Venmo then charges them on something, so they're passing the cost over. And ACH, you know, straight from an account's a smaller fee because it's a lot easier to do that, but you have to. Well, it looks like a maximum per transaction fee is capped at 5, so it'll never go above that, which is nice. Anyway, so you know, so that's pricing. It's just good to know that that's a thing before you get into it. When it comes to integrating payments with Restrict Content Pro, you know, like this is my site here. It's just, you know, this is actually just like a standard Cadence site, whatever, using Cadence's starter templates. If you've been with some of my webinars before, you know, I've talked about Cadence and like and have demoed how fun it is to do web design inside of here. Well, I just, you know, dropped some like easy things in here. And what I did on the back end of this was inside of Restrict Content Pro, I set up some membership levels, you know, and I did the standard, you know, gold, silver, bronze sort of a thing. And in each one, you know, I give them a different layer of access or level of access for content. If I decide to, you know, to restrict content that way, and I set, you know, a duration for like a subscription, if it's recurring and all that. And then I started giving prices too, which it looks like I gave some free prices in there. Jeez, man, I'm giving away the farm, huh? You know, so let's do that and edit these to make sure that they're more you know, usable inside of here. So there we go. We have these, and so far, you know, I just created these, so no one has signed up, and no one cares about my memberships yet. But setting up, you know, membership levels, of course, is the first order of business if you want to sell something. So these membership levels are, in a sense, you know, your product. This is what people are buying, and so when they're exchanging money with you through that payment gateway, they're specifying which product they want, and then paying with it, with their credit card or their, Apple Pay or whatever, and then having that connect with that payment gateway to make sure that the transaction goes through and effectively pays you. So that's good too. It's also worth knowing with these payment gateways that oftentimes it'll store the money for you and, in there, in your account, and then you can have like what they call cash outs or something. You say, okay, I have $1,000 in this account from sales. I want to cash out $500 into my business account or something. You can keep some money in there, or you can just cash out the full balance whenever you need. So, but it's just worth knowing that the money doesn't go straight to your account, but it's just a way of collecting and then distributing that money afterwards. It gives you that level of control. Now, what's different that you're going to see with Braintree and Stripe is just how the membership or how the registration form looks. So now that I have these membership levels, I have these 3 levels, what we can do is go to our registration page. And if you didn't know, Restrict Content Pro will automatically create several pages for you that help you, with this whole process, everything from the registration page to profile pages and billing information and all that. So all this is totally handled right out of the box, and you can edit these. And if you're using, a cool theme like Cadence or something, you can really create awesome layouts and make them, look really good and not just like standard pages or something. But I just have the standard registration form here. I haven't customized this or anything. When we open it up, we just get this register page, and geez, we have gold, silver, and bronze, just like we saw in the back end. And with those prices, you can see that as we select, the summary of what's being purchased changes, and it even tells us, we're purchasing here on October 14th, 2021. I set the duration of a membership to 1 year. With the option to auto renew here. So that's the configuration that we're working with here. Yours might look different. The last time I had a webinar with y'all, we talked about setting up a membership newsletter through RCP and using a service like a plugin like MailPoet to connect all that, so that folks can receive a custom or can pay for a newsletter membership. So that could be another way to commoditize your membership levels here. But the whole point here is that we have these 3 levels, and these are effectively our product. Now, what we want to do is take payments for these. Right now, we don't have any payment gateway set up, so really nothing's going to happen here. We don't have a way to actually collect payment here. So if something goes through, we don't actually get the money behind it. That's what we want to solve. So going back into our WordPress admin, let me boost up a little bit, because I know it's hard to see at times. So let me just bump this up a bit. We have the restrict option here in the WordPress admin navigation. And what we can do is go over to payments right inside of here. And this is actually where we would see the payments that we've received. It's like a nice way to see what we had before. When I've done testing in the past, you can see that I've had these payments go through, and it tells me which gateway it came through with. And then I can actually see that with reports and stuff too, which is pretty neat. I'm just gonna delete these just to have a clean slate. Total earnings, $50, nice. So let's head over to our settings. That's really where we want to be. And specifically, not just in the general settings, we want to be in the payments tab. You'll notice that this is the second tab inside of here. It's a real crucial area, because this is where we can specify exactly how we want to accept payments. Notice that like we can take manual payments like cash, or something, or checks, whatever. There's a few options for PayPal and all this. Now I said that there were other integrations that we could have here too. And what you want to do is, if you have the Pro license, you have access to the Pro add-ons in your iThemes membership account. And what you can do in your member panel here is filter, what you have access to by Restrict Content Pro and check it out. We have authorized.net in here. Here's Braintree right there, and the other ones that you would need that are noted in the documentation. So so you could download the Braintree one here, but Stripe is just automatically built in. I just wanted to like throw that in there. You don't need to actually download anything to integrate with that. That's just another level of convenience with using Stripe if you're deciding between the two. Just nice, not to have an extra plugin to do. But Braintree is a fantastic service, so don't disregard it or anything just because of that. I do have this add-on installed. If we head to plugins, install plugins, we'll see that here it is, the Braintree Gateway. I'm going to activate it so that now when we head over to restrict settings and payments, whoa, now we have Braintree as an option there. So that's essentially what that plugin is doing. And then when we scroll down lower here, we see that we have Braintree specific settings if we need them in here. And notice, we're going to get here, but this looks like a heck of a lot to deal with. It's like, oops, sorry, we don't mean to overwhelm you here. These are two different sets of fields. One for like when you're live, taking live payments on the site, when money's actually changing hands. So these 4 fields are needed. And we have the same 4 fields, but if you are working in a sandbox test environment so that you can test your transactions and make sure that things are connected and configured correctly, but not actually trading real money, you'll see those transactions in your payments tab and all that, just to make sure that everything's correct and legit. But for all intents and purposes, money isn't actually exchanging hands there. So yes, 8 fields here, but really you're working with like 4 at a time. And if you're configuring this for the first time, you're probably going to start with these 4, fill them out and test your stuff, and then afterwards, go through. Check these fields here, and then take it off a sandbox mode, which is right up here. So I would say that, if you're setting up a payment gateway for the first time, what I would do is first decide which one you're going to be taking. Let's start with Stripe here, and then make sure that you're also in sandbox mode because you don't want to inadvertently take money out of your own account when you're testing things or someone else's account, or you can just ask Michael for his credit card number for testing. I'm sure he would really appreciate that. And then take it off sandbox mode. We have Stripe. We're in sandbox mode, and the very next thing here is this like connect with Stripe. That like if we click it here, it's going to take us to Stripe to get started. I do have an account here that I've set up, and when I log in, it gives me a verification code. Ooh, neat. But here, I have different projects that I have. I have this one that I set up most recently a couple of days ago. It's nice to have that little date there in case you're distinguishing between test and whatnot. So now it just takes us back here. We're technically done with this. We are set up, and it says right here, your Stripe account is connected in live mode. To test it, toggle the sandbox mode setting above and save the settings to continue. And so we'll save here. And now we are connected in test mode. So now we have the instruction here so that when we want to go into live mode, we toggle this option again. We save, and then we can always reconnect to the live mode. So if we want to reconnect Stripe in test mode, we can click that. Just make sure that connection's all good. Dun dun. And voila, I think we're all good. Test mode, boom, Stripe, sandbox, good. We don't need anything else. I mean, like, that's pretty cool. We didn't really have to even fill out anything, like Stripe just kind of like redirected us right back to our demo site. And this is great. So that now, we can go to our registration page. We can go there. I'm just going to hit the register page. And now, we have these options here. And notice that we get this new section in here that says test mode is enabled. This is great. So like it gives us a dummy credit card number with a CVC, that like 3-digit code on the back of the card. We can use any expiration date, doesn't matter, and then a zip code if it asks for it, which we don't really have here. But the idea is that we can put the name on card, do all that, register and go. What I want to do first is, I don't want to do this directly, logged in here. So what I'm going to do, well, shoot, I probably have to change my presentation status to do that. But what I could do is, can I open up well, I could open up a private window, but let me just log out here instead. So I'm going to go back, /register. Whoops, I can't type today. I think it's when I know that people are watching me. So log in, if we're already someone, we can create a username of sorts, so, I could create myself in here and give myself some sort of, whatever. And password, geez, I don't know. Yeah, let's use this. I'm just going to put, testing or something, because this isn't really, meant to be, some sort of secure thing. And then we can choose a membership level. We can go, choose a silver, let's say, and we know what our membership is going to include. We're gonna charge $15 today, and then if an auto renew is installed, we would indicate to them when that is. So here we go. We have this information. I'm just gonna put my name inside of here. I'm gonna copy and paste all those 4 2s, 4 2s, 4 2s. But this, it's asking for a month and year, and again, we can use anything. So let's say like, December of 2024 with a 123 CVC, it says up there, with a zip code of 45814. Nice. Auto renew, sure, that sounds great. Now let's register. And if all is good here, I'm keeping my fingers crossed. If all is good here, we should be, just given a confirmation. Yeah, welcome. This is your success page. Because I haven't configured this page, I haven't designed it or anything. This is just the default page. And of course, if we're logged in here as an admin, we can edit this page and make it a real nice experience. And like, welcome to the club. Here are our 3 things to get you started. Or, here, download this because you've earned it. That level of stuff. So, this person gets an email now. They've, and theoretically they should be charged, right? So we can go into here and let's just make sure that stuff works. We're going to go into WP admin. Well, geez, I need to have the actual login and stuff. So let me just grab that real fast. Oops. Here we go. Oops. Now it's me. I want to log out of that. And see, I had a demo account inside of here. Where did my link go for that? Sandbox mode. Oh, I shouldn't have logged out. Let me, gosh, I'm gonna have to go get that login real fast. One sec. I'm gonna go do that thing. So just, hang with me for a second while I while I go, search for that. I should have just, kept that with me.
Oh, all right. As you are looking through that, a person who cares is hoping that you could show the testing payments in the Stripe dashboard if possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's check that out too.
And also, while you're looking at, you can answer another question and hunt for your credentials at the same time. Stacy wants to know if you run both Braintree and Stripe together.
Yes, you can, but I think you might run it. You would need to probably do it for different types of memberships, right? So, oh no, wait, no, you can only set it once in the setting there. But Michael, you do have multiple checkboxes in there, so it is capable of actually having those. But where would that show up on the front end as far as using it?
You have to have, I think of the You'll see on the registration form, you'll see the different options, but you also want to thoroughly test it to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that things are ending up where you want them to. You can
Mm-hmm.
also, just depending on how you set up your site, what I've seen some sites do in the past where you can click on the registration form, they make a custom registration form, and it's like pay with credit card information. And so they send those people to a registration form that's connected to a Stripe payment gateway. And then they say pay with PayPal, and they send them to a separate registration form that's set to a PayPal registration form. And then we had one more question that was piling up, and we'll go ahead and just address that real quick. It was just from Kristen, and I kind of answered her question earlier in chat, as if any of the payment gateways take crypto. And the short answer is not right now. PayPal they announced October of last year that they were going to start accepting some forms of crypto payments. And then yesterday, Stripe announced that they're starting a crypto team. So no, not as right now, no, but that should be coming as all that stuff gets a little bit more popular. But let you get back to your thing, Mr. Jeff.
Nice, thank you. Hey, it looks like we have a participant in there who grabbed the link in the handout. Nice. So yeah, you were able to buy a bronze purchase, and guess what? It didn't actually charge you either. So that's pretty cool. The idea here is we can actually see these payments now and see that these went through, which gateway that they came into. And we even have some like reports here of like how much money we made this day, which is kind of cool. And we can come inside here and see that who our customers are, and it's nice. We can always edit these customers by giving them different membership levels or doing whatever we need to do. We can view their like original invoice. If there's questions about the payment, you have a billing support question or something. This is funny. It's upside down. Is that Doug? Is that like did you do that in Gravatar, or is that something that Restrict Content Pro is doing, or WordPress? I think that's funny. If you did it, I think that's awesome. And we still have our membership set up, and if we it's not headed there, but settings, we do have all this set up here. And so now once we feel like that this has actually gone through, we can take things out of sandbox mode. But we can head over to Stripe. Let's head there, go to my dashboard, and payments. Geez, where's my test mode? That's our test mode here. So here's our test mode items here. Notice, I had to like toggle this setting up here to like see what test transactions have gone through. And I really like that they that they separate test data from like real data in here, because it gives you a good idea of what's actually happening. So once we get out of test mode here, and we can manually create a payment here, just like someone was asking for. So it's like if we create a payment here, we say $15 or something, and we can make it a one-time deal. Make it Fred. Sounds good. Fred Flintstone, maybe. Yeah, I haven't seen the Flintstones in like a long time. If someone has flintstoneexample.com, I hope that they don't have a Fred email address, or a Fried or Fred or whatever email address. We can put their billing information inside of here with all that, 424242 and all that. We can add that customer. We can just say that manually enter the card information. We had that. I have to go see where's their documentation for that. Isn't it like right here? Connecting with Stripe, follow the URL, webhooks. There's our thing there. What we need is the Stripe test cards, test card info again. That should be documented for us right here. So we have 424242. Oops, go to our dashboard. There we go. We can put any month and year. We did that last time. This was 123, and we can save card to customer. And there, let's submit this payment. Oh, there. And if I'm not mistaken, this should, the one thing that's confusing me a bit is that, I didn't see like the actual membership level in there, so which means I don't know if it would show up there because we didn't indicate that specific product. So we have all these things: payment methods, related payments, metadata, and log. See, this is one thing I love about Stripe 2. You get so many details about what's going on here. Related payments. So we have these succeeded. We could look at this and see what kind of data we have inside of here to see what's missing from that one. And so here's the metadata right here. So we could, it looks like we have this guy here. Heading back to our person here. See, we had a edit metadata thing. So I kind of wonder, if it's like user ID, it might be a 7 or like, let's just say 15 or something. I don't know. Add another item, we have the email and all that, but it might be, the membership ID inside of here, because these are all fields that RCP is sharing with Stripe. So being able to head back to our payments area and go to our memberships and get the ID of that membership level, or the ID. So we could say the silver is ID 2. Good to know. So let's head back to our things. Now, are there any other items that we want to throw in there for right now? The payment ID, I don't know. Subscription key, I'm not sure about that either. I suppose that could be a thing, but let's go ahead and save that. Not sure. We have a few things there, and it makes me wonder, does this sync back to see customers? It doesn't look like that member is coming up right here. I don't know, Michael, am I missing a thing to add a payment manually in Stripe and have it sync back? Does all that metadata have to be added manually, or is there some way to select a product at that same time when we're creating a payment? Do you know offhand?
I don't know offhand. I don't believe so. But Jared, if this is incorrect, please correct me, because we'd rather get it right than be right. But I believe that if you make a manual payment into Stripe, it won't send the data back down to Restrict Content Pro. But however, you can do like a manual payment within Restrict Content Pro, enter in the Stripe ID number and all the Stripe customer ID for that user, if they're an existing user, and get all that information sent over to Stripe that way. So you can make that manual payment within Restrict Content Pro, either by adding a customer, and then that will send that information to Stripe, but it won't work backwards.
Yeah, and I really dig that because I prefer to work in one direction. One Direction. Is their new album out yet? But the idea is that you can manage everything from right here as opposed to having to jump platforms. But what is nice is having that access to the Stripe dashboard with all that additional metadata and stuff that like if you really want to trace back where something happened, or what activity happened in that payment where something broke down, or you need to confirm that something actually went through at a micro level, then you get all that UI there in Stripe, which I think is really helpful. Who knows, maybe down the road we'd have a way to have payments here. We do have these transaction IDs that that here it'll take you straight to the Stripe dashboard for this particular person. So that's a nice way to just jump over to, without having to go manually over to Stripe, go log in, go trace it back, whatever. You have a direct path to it right here, which is pretty nice. Stripe is very nice too, in a sense that that like you can also, if you need to, like only display Stripe or only call the Stripe API or its JavaScript on the certain pages that require it. Now it's a little iffy to do that. It's not like a silver bullet to be like, oh, this will, boost my, the performance of my site or something. It's worth testing that in a sandbox mode first. Make sure, that like taking that JavaScript out isn't affecting a page that, that's unintended. And if you are having conflicts too, you could also disable this and see if that's the cause of it. So that's just a nice little way to like troubleshoot or to micro optimize the performance of your site. But again, you want to make sure that is done carefully. So that's Stripe. What I wanted to do is look at Braintree as well, because it's a different setup. We have to actually fill fields in. What I'm going to do here is just keep these settings as they are. I'm going to stay in sandbox mode. I'm going to keep Stripe checked. That's fine. But since we have the Braintree add-on again, and remember, you can grab that in the iThemes member panel with your Pro license. And from there, we can actually set up Braintree as well by checking the box. We, to actually save that, we can do this, but we don't have any of the information saved yet. We've technically enabled it, but we haven't connected it. So the thing we need to do now is make sure that that RCP has the information it needs to access the Braintree API. So with that, we can go ahead. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Braintree, and let's see. Yeah, I guess I wanted the gateway. That's fine. And inside of here, did I? Oh, I thought I had a different. Oh yeah, this one. Is that the one I was looking for? Yeah, that's the one here. But I don't know if I put my username correctly in there. So let's just see. Oh, I know what I did. I logged in with PayPal. Let's see, that's also another benefit of Braintree is that if you have an existing PayPal account, what's nice is that you can automatically take the information that you have in your account and like port it over, so that it's a little more streamlined than having to like go fill out personal data and stuff. So that's one thing I did. It's like super easy for me to just say, yeah, I do have this this ability to log in here, and PayPal will integrate all this, and then, oh no, it's not linked to a Braintree user. I thought it was. Shoot. I was just in there the other day. Maybe I used a different account. Did I use something else? Sandbox, platform, individual. That's not what I did. I'm pretty sure I was right here, but we could, try this next. Oh, the mobile format. Well, geez Louise, I had this all set up before. Let's try this one more time. I'm pretty sure I had that. Man, access denied. Well, I'm pretty bummed about that. So let's, we're gonna have to actually create this account. So let's go ahead and, figure that part out.
Joe Jared's asking if you are in a sandbox.
If I'm in,
I think,
oh,
like a sandbox
I'm sorry?
site, a sandbox site.
Yeah.
Or Braintree sandbox, what he's asking.
Oh, Braintree sandbox, possibly. Yeah, that's true. So the Braintree sandbox. Thanks for calling that out. I appreciate that. Yeah, already in the sandbox. Yep, that's actually totally correct. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You all are awesome for keeping me honest here.
So it's always great to have the developer who's the expert at troubleshooting and has probably made that same mistake a million times. So, thank you.
I know. And I can't tell you how like I've actually made that mistake multiple times, not with Braintree here, but with other accounts. I'm always like, oh, I'm not in the actual sandbox because I'm in test mode. And it is, you know, a good call that like when we actually do this live, you know, when we're dealing with these fields inside of here, when we're putting in the different information to make sure, you know, that like if you're in sandbox mode and you're getting the credentials that way, to fill those in here, and that you're actually on the in the non-sandbox area to do that. So you'll have to like to create the live account. The sandbox account is a different deal. So so good call. Thanks. So inside of here, you know, we can, you know, we have an account. We can click on the gearbox here, go to the API. This is the option we want to look for. And inside of here, we have some information right out of the gate. And you know, if we look at these things, this is some. Oh, actually, you know, before I get here, there is Oh, there was before yesterday in the UI, they actually had a bunch of information for me right here. But let's, yeah, I'll go ahead and go back to here. But in the API area, this is where we have, you know, some of the information that we need to configure this. If we look for different things like the merchant ID, the public key, you know, we just start matching these things up. Here's that public key that we had. I'm gonna grab that. So there's our public key. Our private key here. Oh, well, first here's our merchant ID. So let's grab that. I saw that in there. We have a CSI. So, you know, it says never used, whatever, but just means it hasn't been used. But, you know, this is our CSE. That's what this stands for, client side encryption key. That's, you know, and it's like that long, you know, kind of crazy looking thing. And our private key, you know, I believe for us, that would be right inside here, you know, new tokenized key right inside of here. So sandbox this and grab that. Let me just here. No, that doesn't look right to me, but I'm gonna give that a try anyway. Save my options. And this information is saved here. That's good. That's what we want to check for. Braintree is enabled here. We have all of our information. So, you know, the idea is that we should be able to go over here to register now. And well, I'm gonna first, you know, let me just disable Stripe. I want to make sure that that's, you know, just the only thing that we have going. Save that, and then let's go to register. Now we have all of our options. Notice that test mode is enabled, and notice that it's with Braintree test transactions now, and we have a different test number, different CVC, different, you know, we can still do all this. Anyway, failed to create client token. I wonder if that's where I messed up there with one of those settings that I didn't really like. I didn't like that public key. I'm not sure that that's actually correct, what I had inside of there. So just want to make sure of that. So that's the tokenized. I doubt it's going to be in the webhooks. Let's see, security. No, that's fine. That's for blocking certain things and whatnot. Processing. Just make sure. Merchant accounts, change login. There's all that stuff. Great. Good to know that we're still in sandbox mode. Learn about sandbox and production environments. That's fine. Before they gave all this information at the very bottom, and that's what is you know, that's what's bugging me. So we have the sandbox private key. Just want to make sure that we know that we're actually getting the right thing. And there's no, well, this is searching transactions.
Look for your private key click view on the API.
Okay. So oh, view. Oh, thank you. I just totally missed that right there. I appreciate it. So there's the public key, the private key. Yeah, it's a little hard to navigate in here. That's you know, another one of the benefits there as far as like Stripe, you know, not having to like search for some of this stuff. So now registration inside of here, hopefully, we don't get that like failed thing. There we go. That's much better. Check this out. We even get this like slightly different UI. This is Braintree's drop-in UI type thing, which is nice. So we can go ahead and select, let's say, gold membership this time. We can put that inside of here with our, is it 123 again? Yep. Our expiration date. Auto renew if we'd like. Uh-oh, look at that. An error has occurred with Cardinal. Now, I got this the other day, and there was something about that in the settings that I remember running into on that. So I think I looked it up, why do I get this error inside of here?
No, it's cool because one of the things that we get a lot in our customer support is some of the pitfalls of setting up a payment gateway and troubleshooting. So we do appreciate you troubleshooting, going through this troubleshooting process, especially anytime you're troubleshooting live on the air, it does add a little bit of extra pressure on it. So,
oh yeah,
so
totally. Yeah, it looks like one of those said it could be an issue with ad blocker, which I do have some heavy stuff going with in Safari here, which is pretty aggressive, so that could be a thing. But I remember solving it before. I just want to make sure here that if we head over to here, that the payment didn't actually go through. We do have a demo here. The $25, here's Braintree, and it's pending here. So so the payment is still sitting and waiting inside of there. You can see that that Doug was going in there too. But look, you also completed it as in it looked like you did an upgrade purchase, which is pretty cool inside of there. And I don't know. Let's. Oh, it was. I remember that we could refresh here. Now it's starting to come back to me here. There was a way to like choose a different payment or something, and go ahead and auto renew. Why not? That came up, and then I remember being able to choose another way to pay here, and I re-entered this. And it still did its thing. Well, we're gonna have to look into that, because that's obviously not a good deal. I would love to follow up on this later and see what exactly is happening. But it's good that we're actually in sandbox mode, right? Because now we're like testing this thing, and we should see that is now pending still, right? Because I put a type of downgrade even. How cool is that? And this transaction is still pending. But if we head over to our area, and we have some payments to today. We have that one that Doug put in that actually connected here. But then over here, with our payments, we would have to go inside of here and actually process the deal. If we update the payment side.
It sounds like you might be blocking because Doug just said a pop-up window was the last step of the sandbox payment process. It was a text authentication window.
So Safari is probably blocking that, huh?
Yeah, there's probably some Safari setting that needs to be adjusted. And that's like interesting stuff to troubleshoot just to highlight, because like the internet is a hack, and so all these different integrations working together, there's so many things that can conflict with it, so many different pitfalls, so to speak. And so yeah, it can create complications, especially if you're doing even more things to restrict what can pop up and what can see. And then, so I was just trying to see if Jared was able to answer. Jared asked, a person carries a follow-up question about, can you add a PayPal at a later date in Braintree? Then Jared asked, the developer asked a follow-up question, do you mean add it as an additional payment gateway after the site has been launched, or do you mean connecting a PayPal account to a Braintree account? And Stacey, if you give us a little bit of clarification on that, we'll try to get that question answered for you.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
There it is. Good. Yeah, thank you, Doug.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
That's why I love
So
the IT training community.
I know.
They're a wealth of knowledge. You can come and get so much information, just as much information out from them as you do from the presenter or the host.
It's
Um,
true. Yeah.
there's so many knowledgeable people.
Oh, absolutely. And I was actually testing this in Firefox, the other day. So that's why, I totally, had a success here, but I didn't have a success today in Safari. So, again, it's good to be testing these things out because we could, come out with some bugs and or know what we need to troubleshoot there to make sure that things are working honky dory there. And it's also nice to have a sort of a live thing like this where we're not coming in scripted, but just trying to configure it and learn together. So thanks y'all, this is cool. But that said, we have this payment here, so technically we should be able to come back here, go to our payments, and that tester right here is in the gold example that went through. We go to our transaction ID, and there it is in Braintree. So very nice. I dig that, and that's that's how we can test to make sure that everything's working and verify that we have this this logged, and we could even clear out some of these things if they didn't work out. Say just delete those suckers, and now
Oh,
we have.
I think we're missing it because I'm still seeing the welcome page. Are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't switch windows back when I was done because I switched from Firefox or from Safari to Firefox. Let me get back in there. There we go. I'm sorry about that. So I took out those pending guys, and now we just have all these complete purchases. This one, it was a downgrade, so it's actually less money inside of there. I'm just gonna take this out since there's no transaction associated with it. And now we're left with those done deals. With that, we have a few minutes left over for questions. I know we've answered quite a few. Are there additional ones, Michael?
Not that I can see right now. I think a person who cares was wondering whether there wasn't a CVS or CSV box. I think she was referring to when it was testing and the Braintree testing payment. I'm assuming it's because it is the sandbox environment, but
that's correct. Yeah.
And then Jared has some follow-up stuff talking about how the 3D Secure, which is a kind of a security thing to help protect against fraud payments, is enabled by default on Braintree sandbox accounts. And so those are the extra authentication was the 3D Secure auth. And so weren't able to finish the payment because that was being blocked by Safari.
Yep.
I think that we've answered all the questions that we have so far, but if you do have any more questions, please throw them in chat. We'll try to get them answered in our remaining time together.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone in chat for all the help. Doug, live testing. Stacy
Yeah,
usually
Doug,
always
thanks.
has some helpful stuff to throw in the chat. Clement is asking, what is the difference between the different PayPal options, Pro, Standard, etc.?
Yeah, a lot of that depends on what type of things you're selling, and those and that gives you different types of features based on whether you're a business account, you're an individual, and it changes the rates you pay too. And some of those, you might get charged a lower rate on something like a 50 cent per charge thing, but you're paying a monthly service for access to certain features inside of there. So that's the real difference. You're going to be, you just choose between which account you would like there. But the best way to to determine which one you need is to go over to PayPal site and compare the different plans that they have.
Pro, for example, takes more of the PCI, simplifies some of the options to make it easy for to be PCI compliant. But yeah, the best way to see the difference between all the million different options. PayPal has payment gateways like Google has messaging applications. So it's important to look at the side by side.
Absolutely. And I've worked with PayPal Standard and PayPal Pro, but I haven't worked with PayPal Express. I'm not sure what that is exactly. I have a PayPal Pro account from my business because I needed a certain API endpoint or something for an integration with my invoicing system for freelancing. So that's why I had to go with a Pro account. But different ones have like a few different features to them, and some of it depends on whether you're selling products or services or some other thing. So yeah, good question.
All right. Well, any more questions before we wrap up? All right. We had lots of great information today. Oh, okay. Yeah, lots of great information today. You have any last thoughts before we wrap up, Jeff?
Oh, I just want to thank everyone for hanging out, and thanks for the help. Troubleshooting live and like hanging out together and figuring that stuff out. It's kind of cool. These are the types of things that you will run into in the real world. And so now we have a frame of reference for like even troubleshooting some things that might happen in the process. So thank you all so much. I appreciate it. And I've just had a lot of fun hanging out with you.
No information right now, just so you know, Doug, on any local tax integration stuff. But you can ask Jared if you want some of the Restrict Content Pro user interviews that I did. I used iThemes training as a selling point. That's because the community is so helpful. I had one particular person who was just kind of getting started doing a kind of freelance thing. I was like, hey, make sure you go to any of these free webinars offered by iThemes, not so much for the presenters, but there's a wealth of knowledge in the participants who are our regulars, our OG iThemes training people. So as always, just want to reiterate what Jeff said and say thank you for your input and help today. And I hope it was a good investment of everyone's time. It was definitely for me. Thanks, shout out to the developer, Jared, for being involved and helping answer some questions and get some clarity where we can. My name is Michael, and for all of us here at the iThemes, we hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time on iThemes training where we go further together. And I'll get this webinar up and the webinar replay up in just a couple hours. So, hey, thanks again, guys, and everyone have a great rest of your day.